Welcome back, and thank you for joining us on our journey as we move from a modern new build to a charming old stone cottage in Scotland. In our last video, the stonemasons began the important task of repairing the stone end gable wall, carefully stripping away layers of old paint and cement render. This work is essential to help the cottage breathe again and tackle the ongoing damp issues. For the past week, they've been working steadily, chipping away at the layers. It's a slow and meticulous process, as each stone needs to be handled with care to prevent any damage.
Okay, so after yesterday's horrible storms, the stonemasons were basically rained off. It was far too windy, far too wet for them to be climbing about, continuing work. So now that the storms have passed, you can see we're definitely making progress, chipping away a little bit at a time. They've replaced the lower scaffolding for something higher so they can reach right to the top there. And yeah, like I said, they're definitely making progress. There are a couple of issues. As I'd mentioned previously, we've discovered that the wood, that there's kind of like wood beams, I don't know if that's the correct term for them, that run across the top of the stone wall and sit just under the roof. The stonemason has discovered that the ends rather, are rotten. They just crumble in his hand, soaking wet, and they've obviously been like that for quite some time. We don't know if the entire lengths of wood are rotten because we haven't uncovered that yet. We don't want to touch that until the stonemasons are ready to start repointing it in lime mortar. But it's not looking good. At either end is completely rotten and it's just crumbling. I have arranged for a roofing expert to call out this afternoon to take a look at it. And I really, really hope it's not going to be too expensive, because this is the thing with all the properties. Once you start poking and prodding, potentially you can just uncover a whole load of other stuff that needs resolving. But whatever the outcome is, it needs doing. There's no point just patching it up because it'll just come back to bite us on the ass further down the line. So it makes sense to have the rotten wood replaced or repaired or whatever needs doing to it at this point whilst we're doing these repairs. And the other potential issue is you can see all of the kind of white residue of paint that remains on the stones just over there. So the only way to get that off really is to give it a very light sandblast. So the sandblasting part of it, the stonemasons outsourced that to a sandblasting company. Now, I'd contacted a sandblasting company weeks ago before we decided to go ahead with the stonemasons, and the sandblasting company had taken our details and said they'd be in touch and they'd arrange for somebody to call out and take a look at it, basically to see if sandblasting would be a potential way to remove the paint and the render. It turns out it wasn't an option because sandblasting is good at removing laser paint but not the cement render. Anyway, to cut a long story short, the company just suddenly turned up out of the blue. I was working in my office upstairs one day and I heard this racket outside. Came outside and there was this sandblasting company set up all of his machinery and was testing parts of the cottage to see if sandblasting would work, which I was really annoyed about because to be fair, he did try to phone me a couple of times, but I was really busy with work, so I never got the call. I missed it. So rather than waiting for me to phone him back, he didn't even leave a message. He just turned up and started sandblasting small areas of the cottage. So I rushed down. I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" He was starting to sandblast small areas on the front of the cottage, which isn't even what we're working on. Obviously, it's the side. It's this gable wall. So I quickly told him to pack his stuff up and jog on. So off you went. Obviously, he was in the huff because he'd wasted time travelling out and everything. You know, kind of his fault. He should have waited to speak to me before driving all this way. Anyway, the stonemasons tried to contact the same guy to come out and do the light sandblasting, and he basically hung up on them as soon as he found out which cottage it was. He was like, nah, and he hung up. And the problem is, seemingly there aren't too many sandblasting businesses in this area. So the other potential solution they have is to use something called, I think it's called a needle gun, which is a device that has lots of little needles, I guess, and it lightly vibrates the surface of the stone to remove that white, thin residue of paint. We don't want to use chemicals or anything like that. So I think potentially that may be another option rather than using a light sandblasting. Yeah, because like you said, the sandblasting guy is obviously in the huff. But you know, I mean, how crazy is that? Just turning up at someone's property and starting to sandblast without actually speaking to them first. Anyway, it is what it is. So I'll keep you updated, and hopefully within the next week or so, this will all be resolved and it'll be repointed with the lime mortar, and it'll all be looking stunning.
So as I said, the needles in the gun vibrate against the surface of the stone, gently removing the thinner layers of paint. It's very time consuming indeed, but it's far more gentle on the stone than sandblasting can be, especially with the softer sandstone. The stonemason had told me that the cottage is mainly made up of 3 types of stone. Red sandstone, typically found in the traditional tenement buildings in Glasgow. Buff sandstone, or blonde sandstone, which is a more lighter yellowish sandy colour, and whinstone, which is the light grey stone that you can see. The whinstone is really tough, and the problem with using a needle gun on it is that the needles tend to just skitter across the surface of the stone as it's so hard, making it all the more challenging. So we leave the stonemason do his thing for the time being, and we'll pop back later to see how he's getting on.
Well, that was a nice sight to wake up to, wasn't it?
It was a bit snowy this morning.
It was very Christmassy. It hasn't lasted very long though. It started raining shortly after. And as you can see, there's still plenty of snow around. It's kind of all melted from the treetops though, but it's quite nice, wasn't it?
Mm.
Our first snowfall of the cottage.
No disasters? No roofs collapsing or anything like that? That's a bonus.
Not yet. There was a broken gutter.
Fix that.
How are you doing anyway? You okay?
I'm alright. Enjoying a nice day off.
I feel like they haven't seen you all week.
I've been working non-stop at the moment with Christmas coming up.
Mm. Are you happy with how the stone wall, the gable wall's coming along?
So far, it looks good so far.
Yeah.
I come back, and each day there's more mess. And no, it looks good.
Are you concerned about the rotten timber under the roof?
Yeah, that could be a bit of more of an expense than we were expecting, especially with the weather doing what it is, and if we've got to have roof repairs, or part of the roof's got to come off, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. So what's the plan? Just see what the stonemasons say next week when they come back out?
Stonemasons, and I've got
See,
a couple of people who I've got roofing contacts.
yeah. Hope it's not too expensive. It's cost enough getting this stone wall stripped right back, isn't it?
The joys of owning an old property.
I know. But we wouldn't have it any other way, would we?
Well, wait till the bill comes in.
We're loving it. We're loving the country life. We're loving the cottage, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
And Benji, he's absolutely loving it as well, as you can see.
He's off.
There's a nice Christmas tree behind you there, Adam.
Don't be getting ideas.
We don't have a Christmas tree yet. It's looking foggy, isn't it?
It is a bit.
I'm glad we got back when we did. Aren't you, Benji? Eh? You can feel the temperature starting to drop, can't you?
Mm.
Should we go back and get some food? I'm starving. And don't you say, what a surprise.
What a surprise.
Yeah. Drop it. Ready. Oh. See, that's why I never play sports.
I'm not saying anything.
That's why I was never very good at sports at school. What are you doing?
These are lights.
Ah.
There are many like them, but these are mine.
That looks good.
They're called COB lights.
Yeah.
So like an LED strip, but without all the tiny little dots, which are really annoying. I bought these for the front room to go above the fireplace to illuminate the wall, but realised these are too much of a white light. So I've ordered a much softer light for in there, but I wanted to reuse these somewhere. And I suddenly went, I can put them around the spiral staircase to illuminate the spiral staircase to make it a bit more, even more of a feature.
They look quite good.
Rather than not use them and then just go to waste.
So those are the dotless LED strip lights.
Yeah, so you can't see like the horrible dots.
Let's go and have a close look. Oh well, yeah, you can't see the dots at all, can you?
No.
Because we've had these before.
They cost a little bit more, but if people are wanting them, and you want kind of this like design of lighting with the strip lights, always go for the COB lights. They're not about 8 to 10 quid more per strip.
Yeah.
You've got a little remote control, so you can do different brightnesses.
Because we had similar LED strip lights in the previous house, didn't we? But
Yeah,
they had
the thing is they're really energy efficient. So these I've put on a smart plug as well, so we can control them on our phones. Like pretty much all the lights in the house are slowly going smart. And LED to save electric, so like all the kitchen lights, bathroom lights, bedroom lights, halogen lights have all been replaced with the most super energy efficient LED bulbs you can get.
Yeah, because the ones in the kitchen, these were...
They're horrendous Bernie bulbs.
These were, yeah, what we call the Bernie bulbs.
And you try and touch one and burn your fingers off.
Well, I was standing here washing the dishes at the sink the other day, and I could actually feel the heat off these little spotlight bulbs. So as Adam said, he's now swapped them out for the LED bulbs. This looks quite good. Go and switch the light off so we can see them.
Hang on, dog.
Ooh. So this evening we are fixing the doors to the integrated appliances, because when we first moved into the cottage, the previous owner didn't have integrated appliances. So fortunately we were able to contact the manufacturers of the kitchen and purchase a couple of appliance doors. So we're going to attempt to fit these ourselves. So we'll see how that goes. But it's not just a simple case of attaching the doors, because we also need to, we have to buy a couple of pieces of extended plinth. Plinth, is that the right word for it? Kick plate, I think it's called, isn't it? The kick plate, the thing at the bottom of the units, because currently the kick plate only goes as far as the freestanding, the space for the freestanding washing machine and the dishwasher. So, so we've had to buy extra kind of length of it, so it runs all the way across. So once the appliance doors are attached to the washing machine and the dishwasher, it'll all look seamless as we can possibly get it. We're not kitchen fitters, because the main reason we want to do this is, watch yourself, Adam, if we open the dishwasher door, without the door on it, it just springs back up. It's a bit of a death trap. And the amount of times we've had the trays out and we've been loading or unloading the dishwasher, taking dishes out and things, and the door has suddenly sprung back up and almost broken the dishes inside, because it obviously slams the drawer back in with quite some force. So once the door's on the dishwasher, it'll give it that extra weight that it needs, that it's supposed to have, to stop it springing back up so quickly. And also the dishwasher needs to be fixed to the inside of the unit, because that's another thing. Once you've got the door open, you've got the trays out and you're loading it up, it starts to tip out, doesn't it? That's a bit scary, because sometimes you have visions of lots of broken crockery all over the floor. So we thought, while we were at it, while we were replacing the kick plate with the full length kick plate to make it more seamless, we also bought some of the coving to go along the top. So I think at the moment it has the modern coving, which is quite flat. But us having this kind of vintage vibe, and we like the kind of vintage style, we bought pretty much the same coving, as in the same colour and everything, for this kitchen, but it's the more traditional style, so it kind of curves out a little bit. You'll see what I'm talking about once we start doing it, because it probably doesn't make much sense at the moment. And Benji's supervising, as usual. Aren't you? Huh? You're supervising. You're good at this, aren't you? Making sure we do the job properly. Huh? Making sure we don't move your food ball. Is that what's going on?
Just tilting it that way. That's as far as it goes out.
So Adam's applying a steam protector to the underside of the worktop, which is just like a sticky back foil. Just stops the steam and the heat from the dishwasher when you open the door warping the underside of the worktop. We should probably have done this ages ago. Right, that's all measured.
Yeah.
You want me to drill it?
Yeah.
Right. What?
You can drill through the kitchen worktop.
Oh.
You're not a very good apprentice, are you? Jesus Christ.
It's alright, we'll edit that bit out there. Edit that bit out, Benji.
Gee, you could do a better job, couldn't you? What are you doing?
What?
It's got to be drilled from the other side.
Really?
Yeah, it's only got to be countersink. This is the front.
Oh, why didn't you tell me? No, the handle's going on this side. Stop winding me up.
Oh, Jesus.
Look, you've got me doubting myself now. That was relatively easy. Oh yeah, brilliant. What do you think, Benji? Huh? What do you think? No more slamming dishwasher doors.
Does that actually mean you don't have to have a two-person job to empty the dishwasher anymore?
Yep. So you can see the plinth I was talking about on the bottom. What in front of the camera?
I will.
The plinth I was talking about on the bottom, obviously it doesn't currently go all the way across because, well, it wasn't designed to have an integrated dishwasher. So this is what I was saying a little earlier, we've bought a longer piece of plinth. I keep calling it plinth, it's kick plate, isn't it? A longer piece of kick plate to go right across, and then the same for when we do the washing machine as well. I'll just grab my camera and show you a better view of that. Yeah, so you can see there, the kick plate needs to go all the way across. What we'll need to do though is we'll probably need to chop out a piece of this here so that the kick plate can go right across. So we're probably just going to get a multi-tool and see if we can cut a section of this out. And then it'll be the same when we do the washing machine as well. So we've tried to install the new kick plate, but we've realised it's too tall. You can see here, this is the old one, and this is the new one. So it's just, what, like 5mm too tall, which is really annoying because that means we need to basically trim
all the way along.
Trim a little bit off all the way along. And it's a bit windy outside, isn't it?
Windy is gale force outside.
Which means we're going to have to try and do this in the kitchen and not create too much mess.
This is going to end well, isn't it, dog?
Is it going to fit? Kind of. Is there a knack to it? Oh, I bet it's this bit where I've cut
Have
it.
you cut it wrong?
I feel like it's stuck in the middle there.
go. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
All that's to do now is to wash your door.
Off you go then.
Alright, I'll do that.
Go on then.
So next up is fitting the door to the washing machine using this template. We've never done this before, have we?
No. There we go. Are you supervising?
Is that alright?
I think so. What do you think?
So we've got the door on the washing machine, but we need to raise it up higher so that the door is level with the other cabinet doors. Nothing's ever straightforward, is it, Adam?
No. Bored of this now.
And on top of that, we've had to remove the the kick plate, not the plinth, from beneath the sink and the dishwasher, because we realised you can't open the door on the dishwasher because it catches on the top of the plinth, the kick plate. So Adam has an idea. He's going to chop a piece out of the top of the kick plate to accommodate the opening of the door. And do you see that face? He's not impressed. He hasn't even had a beer yet, and it's 10 past 11 on a Saturday night. Okay, so the next issue is we've realised the legs on the washing machine don't raise it high enough up. It doesn't. Oh, I'm tired, you can tell. The legs on the washing machine won't raise it high enough to bring it in line with the cabinets. That's what I'm trying to say. So Adam, the genius that he is had the great idea to chop these spare pieces of kick plate and basically put them underneath the legs of the washing machine to raise it up high enough to bring it in line with the other cabinet doors. Hope this works. Oh, we're done.
Good, because I'm knackered.
That took so long. High five. See what a good team we make. Eh? Such a good team.
How many hours?
But that's the thing with anything like this, it's always the same, isn't it? There's so much problem solving when you're trying to do things
That you haven't done before.
that you haven't done before on a limited budget. But hey, it looks good. Do you think?
Benji's happy, he's got lots of it.
Do you think it looks good?
Yes, I do.
It just looks a bit more
Finished.
finished. Yeah, exactly.
Don't think you'll change these kitchen cupboards neither.
We didn't have the money for a new kitchen, and there was nothing wrong with this one. We just wanted it, like Adam said, a bit more finished, a bit more integrated. But hey, that's actually a good way to spruce up an existing kitchen without spending thousands of pounds on a new one, because we didn't have thousands of pounds for a new one.
No.
And just having those there and having the kick plate run all the way across, it just makes it look so much better, doesn't it? I'm guessing we're not doing the cornicing tonight.
No, you can do that on Monday on the day off.
Right. Should we go and get a beer?
Yes.
Come on then. Come on, Benji, let's go and grab a beer. Well, here we are again, folks. Can you believe it's that time so soon? We're going to have to leave it here for now, guys, but once again, thank you very much for following along on our journey. And in the next video, we'll catch up once again to see how the stonemasons are getting on. Bye for now, and we'll see you next week.